Lake Murray is one of the oldest lakes in the state. The man-made lake covers approximately 50,000 acres of land and has 650 miles of shoreline. Nearly every year there are incidents that happen on those waters, from boating accidents to missing people. Rachel Ripp has a look inside the Department of Natural Resources search process to solve those cases on the water.
Lake Murray is one of the most recreationally active lakes in South Carolina, but sadly it's also prone to accidents. You can see here SCDNR responded to 40% more boating accidents this year compared to last year. Now on this graph, it shows the agency responded to 5 deaths on the water this year compared to 4 deaths in 2020 and in 2018 and 1 death in 2019. Now missing persons cases, those have also gone up this year, 133% higher than last year when you compare these two numbers. So how does the Department of Natural Resources investigate these incidents? Well, that's what I set out to learn. Lake Murray, according to the local tourism board, is the jewel of South Carolina, often a destination for fun on the water, from swimming to fishing and other water sports. But sometimes that same water can become dangerous. That's where the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources comes in. They work alongside other law enforcement agencies at times, but SCDNR knows every island approach and every lagoon. They come full force communicating across all departments, in the air, under the water, and on top of it. Right now, the agency has 2 pilots. When called for help, the aviation team checks in every 30 minutes, starting their search at 1,000 feet above sea level, conducting a grid search in parallel lines. Owen Barker is DNR's chief pilot.
I'm going to fly the area looking for obstacles to flight. And those might be towers, they might be power lines, they might be birds. We can cover so much more area than the boats can. The boats can get out and they can go up and down, they can move around, but we can cover it faster and cover it farther and much more effectively.
As for the top of water boat search, SCDNR has 20 officers, each with their own boat manned 1 or 2 aboard to look for anything on top or appearing on their sonar system below.
The sonar pretty much shows a map of the bottom, so you can pick up anomalies that we can flag for a diver to go down and check while we wait on the dive team to actually arrive. From the boat's perspective, you're right there on the water. You're able to notice things that may be just below the surface or just on top of it.
SCDNR investigators on scene work to interview witnesses and gather evidence. There are 7 of them in the state, in addition to the agency's lieutenant and their sergeant, Damian Young.
There's different indicators. You know, you have your rub rails on boats that can leave transfer marks and that sort of stuff. You have props that can leave prop marks as well. Those are the evidence that we're photographing as well as taking samples of if need be.
Investigators also keep the families informed. Young says he can't help but put himself in their shoes.
It can get very emotional. It's very difficult to do because you have loved ones as well.
Lastly, the SCDNR dive team has 20 divers, holding the title as the 3rd oldest dive team in the nation. Dwayne Rogers is the dive team sergeant.
We always try to have 3 divers on scene. Obviously, we got to have a supervisor, we got to have a safety diver, and the actual diver. But usually we'll have, you know, anywhere from 4 to 6, and sometimes if it's a big dive where it's going to be multiple days, you know, we'll do a rotation.
Their swim pattern is also in grid form. It looks like this. The team's limit is 125 feet, which is right around the deepest point of Lake Murray. Rogers says it takes a very specific kind of person to do this job in these conditions.
The dark, they get claustrophobic, possible entanglements, and obviously finding possibly a deceased person. You find a victim, and a lot of times if it's a couple days after the incident, you know, there's no telling what kind of shape you're going to find these people in. So, you know, it takes a different kind of mindset. So I think the dive team is a vital part of what we do.
Each branch works together for a common goal: to save lives, to work fast but efficiently, to serve, and to never give up. According to SCDNR, during holidays and other large gatherings and events, they have EMS personnel staged at Lake Murray ready in case of any emergencies. Reporting in studio, Rachel Ripp, News 19 WLTX.
For this full story on our website, text the word water to our number 803-776-9508. Again, text that number do not call.